Hi everyone, welcome back. Anna here with the Coding Guild. I'm a bit behind on my book tabbing. It's already March of 2022, but I finally got it done. So I decided to show you what I have achieved, how I got my ICD-10 CEM book ready for my new exam. Of course, there is no one right way to do this, so I would encourage you to check out more resources and then create your own style and whatever works for you. And here it is, the final product. My ICD-10 CEM book for 2022, fully marked and tabbed. As you can see, I'm using Optum books, but what I am going to show you should work with any publisher's book because they are very similar. I am using handmade tabs. I understand that AHIMA doesn't officially allow this, so you might want to use the official tabs coming with the book, with all the codes and ranges already printed on there. Or alternatively, you might be able to repurpose some of the CPT tabs that you didn't use for last year, or even maybe use the ones for this year but just temporarily put it on your CEM book. So what do we have here? Of course, I have all the letters for the alphabet to be able to quickly reference terms in the index by letter. But besides that, I also added some special tabs for the index. These are based on conditions I often see on exams. These always come back. I always have to code something related to this. The first one is age X for history. This one immediately leads me to the history section. I see a lot of history codes on risk adjustment and inpatient coding exams, but of course they can come up anywhere. The next one is FX for fractures. Again, I can immediately go to the fracture section. The next one is DZ, standing for disease, for those cases where there is no finalized diagnosis and I am looking for something like disease of the breasts or disease of genital organs or something like that. Then I have DM for diabetes, because you know that's coming. And the last one is STAT for status codes. I see a lot of these again on risk adjustment exams and inpatient coding exams, gastrostomy status, ventilation status, etc. After the index entries, I of course also have one tab for the neoplasm table, for the drug table, and one for the external codes index. The rest of the tabs, the pink ones, have to do with the official guidelines. First of all, I have 3 tabs on the side marking the sections. Roman number 1 for the Convention's General Coding Guidelines and Chapter-Specific Guidelines. Roman number 2 and 3 for the Principal Diagnosis and Reporting Additional Diagnoses. And then section 4 for Outpatient Services. Of course, you might not need all of these. Whatever you have to mark up depends on the exam you are getting ready for. If you are going for a profi coding exam such as the CPC or CCSV, you only need section 1 and 4. For inpatient coding exams, you need 1, 2, and 3. Now, of course, general tabbing of sections is not enough for any exam. So I also have the chapter-specific guidelines tabbed on the top. Infectious, neoplasm, endocrinology, mental, nervous, eye, circulatory, etc., etc. Using these tabs make it very easy for me to immediately reference whatever guideline I need. So let's say that I need to read something about congenital disorders. Using my tab Q, I can immediately turn to chapter 17 and read whatever I need. Having discussed the tabs, let's see an equally important topic, things I choose not to tab. For example, you might have noticed that I don't have anything leading me to the tabular. I don't have code range tabs on the side. I decided to omit them because the book is already color-coded. I feel that that is enough. I find it confusing where I have a ton of tabs showing me where the code ranges start. I also chose not to index the appendices at the end of the book this year. They are very useful, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of good information, for example, a pharmacology list, long-term drug use list, major complication and comorbidity list, hospital-acquired conditions. So there is a lot of good information at the end of the book or wherever your indices are located. I definitely recommend you check out all the available resources in your book and potentially tab them. The reason why I decided not to do it this year is that Optum is really good at marking their codes with the necessary information right in the tabular. For example, from this code, I can immediately tell that this one is an MCC, a CC, it's on the hack list, and it's also an HCC. I can gather any information I want right from the tabulary. And finally, if you are already tabbed out but still need more space to mark up something in your book, I would like to recommend using paper clips. These can go on the bottom of your book and they are very useful because they won't get torn or damaged. For example, my first paper clip here leads me to my notes. I haven't yet added them, but you can see I already marked the space for myself where I will put some of my notes. And my second paper clip for now, right on the bottom, leads me to the anatomy tables. This is at the back of my book. And with that, my ICD-10-CM book for 2022 is good and ready to go. And that is all we had for today. Thank you for being here with me. I will see you soon in our next video.